make sure you push it all the way up. Look for obstructions in the passage. Any nails or screws sticking out further than the furring strips means that they need to be removed right now before they scratch the door. After you pressed it up, mark all the center of the pre-drilling holes. Use your best judgment at the depth to shoot. If you don't get the right spot, you'll know it because the nail will not be there. Now I'm using 1¼ inch nails for this. I'm also going to use 1¼ inch nails when milling the edges, so I'm sure it doesn't go through and scratch the door. After you put both pieces on the side, take a measurement of the depth inside. (32 7/8). Please be sure to recognize that the bottom of the door is the thick part and the top is the thin. You wouldn't believe how many times I've seen one hung upside down. Place the rubber bumper at the top of the door. Hook it. Subtract the number from what you pulled inside of the cavity, which was 32 7/8. Here we have 32 1/8. So I need to cut 1¼ inch by 3/4 block to go on the back side of this door in the middle. After you've mounted your block and your bumper, make sure you're at desired depth. In this case, I went over by 1/8 inch. So what I'll do is just saw off 1/8 inch off the back side of that bumper in this case, because I have over 1/4 inch depth there. Make sure that your roller will slide in from the opposite side of your block. Flush it and mark this end. Then set it on that mark. Center it up and screw it in. Try your best to center the hole in the metal while the plate is centered. If you can't do this, pre-drill it. Repeat the process for the opposite side, making sure the hook is facing the same direction as the first one you put on. The importance of putting your screw in dead center is sometimes the framers will have the cavity out of line, and you may need to adjust it as it will rub the door either while opening or closing. You want to make sure the screw holding the roller is at least 1/2 of an inch in. This one is almost maxed out. Once I get it up there, if it's that far out, I might not have enough room to adjust. Once you've checked that, go ahead and lock the roller in on the same side that you have your block. You'll turn that roller in the position of the track while your door is setting about 90 degrees from it, like this. Get it onto the track, and then just swing freely. Slide it into the cavity. Then you can easily take your second roller, slide it into the track, and mount it up. Lock it in, and there you have it. The next thing you'll need to do is use your wrench and make sure that it was flush in the middle to begin with, and then flush all the way up and down, or close. Nothing's perfect. Once you've adjusted, you need to make sure, and actually it should have been leveled by the framers. You want to make sure it's at least somewhat level right here in this position. Yes. Go ahead and open it and make sure it's somewhat level in this position, which I need to adjust and pull the bottom in just 1/8 of an inch. Split the difference on that, so I'll actually adjust it about 1/16 of an inch. Install the gliders and make sure that it's centered there and runs pretty good all the way up. And it doesn't rub or touch from either direction when you close it. This one is good from both directions. The important thing here is that you had your screws in the center, because the mounting screws that hold the rollers. Because if it was a little off right here, you could adjust it about 1/4 of an inch either direction in the front or the back of those rollers. You can then place your stop piece in. Make sure you push it all the way up and push it all the way in on both the top and the bottom. Now I can take my trim gun, work it so that there is no gap all the way up and down here. in the case of this door, it happens to be that 3/4 up is flush. So what I'm going to do is make it flush right there at the top and close the daylight in first and shoot a trim nail in it. Now I'll work the gap closed. All the way down it. Paying utmost importance to the center of it where the latch will be placed. Then I'll go on the other side and do the same thing. Slam it. Get it within reason. You want to make sure there's nothing more than a 1/16 of an inch gap between it right here, and put a few reinforcing nails. And that's the easiest way to install a pocket door.